Committee on Appropriations tsaka sa mga officials po ng DepEd through the leadership of Senator and Secretary Sani Angara. Good morning po. Gusto ko lang pong i-highlight yung isa sa mga na bring forth po kanina na finding na ang dating DepEd Secretary po as Vice President, meron siyang children's book project. Tapos ang kanyang tinapa para gumawa ng illustrations para dun sa children's book ay yung mga employees pa na under sa Department of Education. Parang hindi po ito ang first time na pinaghahalo po niya ang dalawang ahensya under her leadership. Tapos ngayon pa nga ay merong ganitong additional example. So hindi dapat ito i-take note lightly ng committee na ito, lalo na't nanghihingi pa nga ng additional budget para dun sa children's book na iyon, given na may ganitong hindi magandang history pala ang ganong proyekto, Madam Chair. So to proceed dun sa ilang mga points ko on the Department of Education, Madam Chair, na-mention din kasi kanina yung matatag curriculum, and even Congressman Rufus Rodriguez mentioned na may mga subjects talaga na hindi pwedeng pinaghalo-halo. Kasi po, Madam Chair, ang gusto nga po ni Kong Rufus yung PE dapat talaga hiwalay. Pero ngayon nga, at least yung naabutan ko, Madam Chair, yung PE kasama siya dun sa MAPE na Music, Arts, PE, and Health. Pero ngayon po sa matatag curriculum, pati po yung MAPE at yung Araling Panlipunan, minerge pa. So, paano na lang po yung pagtuturo ng bawat specific subject? And I think mula naman sa interpellation ni Kong Franz, meron namang ways moving forward yung DepEd. Sana lang po talaga ma-incorporate yung ganitong mga observations kasi nga, ang hirap na ma-ensure yung quality ng pagkaturo sa bawat subject kung parang blob sila na naghahalo-halo. Also, ito Madam Chair, on peace education. So, any official of DepEd po can answer. Gusto lang po nating malaman ano po ang objectives at ano po yung meat ng peace education na tinuturo ng department.
Salamat. Magandang umaga po, Congressman Manuel. Unahin na po natin yung PISA. Yung intention natin dito is if I'm not mistaken, sa pagkaintindi ko, yung PISA is to enhance a learner's critical skills as well as his ability to be analytical and to approach a problem from several aspects, meaning one question can challenge his reading, his math, and his science capabilities. Parang real life situation. Hindi naman nakakahon sa math, sa science, when you face a problem in real life. So that is my understanding of the OECD exam, PISA. So what we're doing is we're trying to have our education also try to be multidimensional in that sense, Your Honor, para matugunan niya yung mga ganong klaseng exams. Dahil parang, and also it seems that there is a focus on certain types of awareness, meaning environmental awareness and other problems, climate change, among others. So I think it's also crucial to enhance that in our learners. Tapos also, yung mababa nating performance dahil karamihan sa mga bata natin hindi marunong gumamit ng computer. I was told, yung mga kumuha ng 2022, first time nilang humawak ng mouse, computer mouse, kaya medyo nataranta sila. So what we want is this early, we will get as many of them with access and practice on computers to actually take the test on computers. And there's also the problem of language. Dahil some take the test in their native language, pero there is no PISA test in Filipino as of yet, if I'm not mistaken, Your Honor. So English ho siya. So these are some of the PISA aspects and the demands on our learners. Doon naman ho sa pagsasama ho ng mga subject, yung thinking ho kasi dito is sana ma-decongest or ma-declutter yung ating curriculum so we can focus on yung tinatawag na foundational skills na literacy and numeracy, reading, writing, math. So that's why kaya pinagsama ho yung ibang mga subject. Pero tama ho kayo na yung isa sa mga pinakamahalagang tinuturo sa ating curriculum ay yung kasaysayan. Kaya sisiguraduhin natin na hindi mawawala yan. At kung may suggestion po kayo na i-enhance yung ating curriculum at all levels, from kinder even up to senior high school, this would be most welcome, Your Honor.
Yeah. Thank you, Madam Chair. Doon po sa matatag curriculum din, lalo under the former leadership of DepEd, doon po na-introduce kasi yung parang special siya na topic, yung peace education, yung paano daw tinuturo yung maging promoters, no, ng pagkakasundo, yun, kapayapaan yung ating mga estudyante. So sa ngayon po ba sumusulong na itong pagtuturo ng peace education? Tapos ano po ang nilalaman ng ganong topic?
Yes, Your Honor, Madam Chair. The peace education is incorporated in certain learning areas in Araling Panlipunan, in good manners and right conduct, as well as values education. But maybe, with your permission, I'll ask Yusek Gina Gonong to expound.
Thank you, Sec. Madam Chair, yung peace education po ay naka-integrate sa ating mga learning areas. Kasama po dito halimbawa sa early grades yung self-awareness, yung building a community. Pagdating naman po sa mga higher grade levels, ang ini-integrate po natin na peace ed concepts dyan, yung security, disaster risk reduction, yan po ang mga kasama sa peace education.
Okay. Madam Chair, can we request the department to furnish our office and the committee copies of modules or learning materials na related po doon sa peace education?
We will do that, Your Honor, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Also, in connection, since meron pong noong 2019, DepEd Order number 32, ito yung National Policy Framework on Learners and Schools as Zones of Peace. We'd like to confirm na standing pa rin po ba ang ganitong DepEd Order?
May I ask that Yusek Escobedo be recognized? He's our Yusek for Operations, Madam Chair.
Yusek Escobedo, you're recognized.
Yeah. Good morning, Madam Chair. Yung DO po on schools as zones of peace ay kasalukuyan pong nire-review and for drafting. Nang sa gayon ay yung schools ay maiwas doon sa anumang violence or human-induced hazard. And we will consult all the stakeholders, especially the teachers and other organization as regards to the review and redrafting of this previously issued DO.
Madam Chair, ano po yung nag-prompt ng review ng ganitong department order?
Meron pong enhancement doon sa isa, yung meron kami mga nare-receive na complaints from the field na ito ay mas nagagamit ng ibang grupo and hindi na pahihintulutan yung isang grupo na pumasok sa school and other complaints na nare-receive namin sa field.
Okay. Madam Chair, kaya po natin ito na tanong in relation din dun sa peace education kasi nga ayaw natin na naabuso ang ganitong mga topics para magamit, no, para kabaligtaran yung maging effect, no, na na-endanger pa yung ating mga students, yung ating mga teachers, and in fact very explicit naman po dun sa current department order na halimbawa kung may mga lessons or kahit pa nga mga seminar, mga forum na para na siya dun sa goals like counterinsurgency, bawal din po yun. So we'd like to ask po ano yung timeline ng review nitong department order.
For the review and redrafting, we will, ang tingin namin ay mailalabas yung new DepEd order by December or early part of next year.
Okay. Next, Madam Chair, kasi ang mga forum din, mga seminar na nagagamit na talaga siya as platform for red tagging halimbawa, edi nalaman natin from the COA documents na dito ginamit yung confidential funds ng DepEd for 2023. So, may ma-elaborate pa ba ang DepEd on this? Kasi po ang binabanggit ng former DepEd Secretary ay ang dapat daw po sumagot ang officials ng DepEd na haharap ngayon at iniwasan pong sagutin yung topic na ito. So, yun, we'd like to know lang kung may madadagdag po kayo or dapat po ba talaga ay hindi na kayo yung sumagot dito?
With your permission, Your Honor, and Madam Chair, perhaps our USEC for Finance can better discuss that since it pertains also to the confidential fund, Your Honor.
Yeah, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We would like to clarify po yung role ng DepEd Finance in the release, utilization, and reporting of the confidential fund. And we have applied po the joint circular of COA, DBM, DILG, GCD, and DND. And we have complied with the requirements. Una po yung entitlement. Is DepEd entitled to the 2023 confidential fund? It was included in our JA in 2023 under a confidential expense tag in the list of the expenses. So that's the reason po na i-release po siya. Ang next po is the form of release. We also follow joint circular, cash advance. Naka-identify po doon that the 3 months requirement should be released in quarterly basis, and that the next liquidation should be upon the liquidation of the head of the agency to the chairman of the Commission on Appropriation. So to answer po yung question kung alam ba namin yung details nung pinagamitan, we do not know because we're not part of the process po ng utilization and liquidation. So what I can share is from the finance, we have released 3 quarters, that's 112.5 million. It has been recorded as liquidated because we were given a copy of the cover letter only of the liquidation. And the last quarter was not processed because there was no request to release it po, Madam Chair.
So hearing that, Madam Chair, ibig sabihin tama lang na last week ay niraise natin yung tanong na ito regarding the DepEd confidential funds on 2023 kasi nga mahirap din na expect natin na yung officials na harap ngayon under the new DepEd leadership ay sila yung sumagot dun sa tanong. So Madam Chair, to confirm, magre-request po ba ng confidential funds for 2025 ang DepEd?
No, Your Honor, Madam Chair.
Maybe no po, bakit hindi? Ibig sabihin po ba ay hindi na nakikitaan ito ng purpose to continue and fulfill DepEd's objectives?
Yun ho, kasama ho yun. Siguro, hindi na rin hiningi nung predecessor namin for the last year and for 2024, if I'm not mistaken, wala rin po. So, and given that it is engendered, medyo naging controversial siya. Mabuti na rin umiwas ko, siguro, Your Honor. At hingin na po yun sa line item kung may mga pangangailangan po ang departamento. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sige. Last topic na lang, Madam Chair, no? Kasi nga, yun, tuloy-tuloy na yung mga bagyo pumapasok sa bansa. And we observed na meron kasing Disaster Preparedness and Response Program under the Inclusive Education Program of DepEd. So, ano po ang trend sa budget? Kasi sa initial data po namin ay bababa yung budget for this. And would DepEd want na taasan ito?
Decreased somewhat, Your Honor. I think it's around 900 million for 2025, if I'm not mistaken. But again, if I may ask that USEC Rev C. Escobedo be recognized because his strand is the one in charge of the disaster office, Your Honor.
Madam Chair,
Yusek Escobedo,
yung nung 2023, meron pong budget ang Department of Education ng 2 billion for the disaster
bills related to welfare salary of teachers ay talaga namang sinusuportahan niya ng mga teachers. Ngayong secretary na siya, mukhang mas maganda ito kaysa nung nakaraan. Nakita naman natin, mamaya yung performance sa COA, malalaman natin. So, talagang wini-welcome naman po ng mga teachers, Secretary Angara. Okay? Kaya lang, Mr. Chair, nakakalungkot, medyo iniwanan siya ng maraming problema ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Lalong-lalo na po itong matatag curriculum, Mr. Chair, gusto ko lang malaman, direkta na to, although pinag-uusapan na namin ito sa Committee on Basic Education, pero gusto ko pa rin direktang masabi kay Secretary Angara, yung nagiging problema ng teachers dito sa iniwan na problematic na curriculum ng nakaraang administration, Mr. Chair, kaugnay doon sa 7 to 8 loads ng mga teachers natin sa high school, Mr. Chair. So, kailangan talaga, Madam Chair, kailangan talagang immediately i-review ito. Biro niyo po, Mr. Chair, and Madam Chair and Mr. Secretary, 7 to 8 loads ang mga teachers. Ibig sabihin nito sa high school, nagtuturo sila ng tigpo 45 minutes na ang haba-haba po, no, nung talagang minaximize po yung 6 hours. Gusto rin ko pong linawin itong National Mathematics Program at saka yung National Reading Program po. Kailangan malinaw din po ito kasi doon sa inilabas na frequently asked questions, nandito pa rin po ito. Pangalawa, yung implementation ng matatag curriculum ay in phase dapat yun, Mr. Chair, pero parang fully in-implement this school year. Kaya hirap na hirap yung ating mga teachers maka-cope up dito sa ini-implement na ito. Baka pwedeng i-suspend itong matatag curriculum. Anyway, Mr. Chair, Mr. Secretary, hindi niyo naman ito program, no? Iniwanan kayo ng nakaraang administration ng ganitong problema. Ngayon, yung mga teachers talaga natin ay talagang problematic dito. Sobrang pahirap itong matatag curriculum, sabi nila, Mr. Chair.
Yes,
Yeah.
Secretary.
Magandang umaga. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Congresswoman Castro, sa magandang nasabi niyo po. And thank you din po kay Kong Rufus dun sa kanyang motion. Madam Chair, ang thinking dito ang pag-iisip namin dito sa matatag curriculum, yung sa 45-minute lessons, dahil na ma-maximize po yung learning time at yun daw ang optimal na learning time for a student to learn. Pero nakikinig, nung nagkonsulta ho kami, and after implementing the matatag curriculum for the last few weeks, mukhang there is a need to inject flexibility ho sa curriculum. So, nakinig ho kami sa ground, nahihirapan yung ibang teachers sa ibang eskwelahan. So, meron kaming piniprepare na department order to inject flexibility, meaning balik tayo dun sa 6 na tigo 1 hour, depending na sa school setting ho, ma'am. So, yun po ang naisip namin. At we're just going to hold maybe 1 or 2 more consultations. But there is already a draft department order on this. Nakinig ho kami dun sa hinaing ng ating mga teachers. Thank you po.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair. Sa elementary po, grade 1, 2, and 3, na hindi lumilipat ng classroom, okay lang siguro yung 40, 45. Pero sa mga intermediate, grade 4 hanggang grade 10 o hanggang grade 12, lumilipat siya ng classroom. Kaya yung si teacher. Kaya makikita nyo sa mga memes, talagang lumilipad si mga teacher, nagbumotor na, mga joke lang. So, yun po yung problema natin. So, I'm glad, no, maibabalik, magiging flexible. So, yun po yung inaantay na nasagot ng ating mga teachers. Ito pong NMP at saka yung NRP, pwede bang pakilinaw po ito, Madam Chair?
Secretary.
Thank you, Kong Castro. Ang sabi is maglalabas ho kami ng polisiya dyan, but maybe Yusek Gonong can further explain the thinking behind this and where we are right now. Yusek Gina.
Thank you, Sec, Madam Chair. Your Honor, yung National Reading at saka National Math Program po, given the feedback from the field on our previous programs like Catch Up Fridays, yung draft po namin ng reading at saka math programs, kailangan pa po namin idaan uli sa isang pang-konsultasyon para hindi na po maulit yung lahat ng mga hindi magandang feedback na nangyari dun sa ating Catch Up Fridays.
I know, yung NMP tsaka NRP po. Ano
Apo.
po yung plano ninyo doon?
Apo.
Alam ko meron kayong dialogue ngayon with the teachers and other
Bukas po.
stakeholders. Bukas. Okay, so ano po yung plano dito? Kasi magiging parang ang magiging nito po, magiging parang Catch Up Friday din. Magiging kalalabasan nitong NMP tsaka NRP?
Your Honor, we are following your suggestions and the suggestions of others to provide flexibilities also in the implementation of the National Reading and the National Math Program. So katulad po ng sinabi nyo nung mga nakaraang hearing, pwedeng ang isang flexibility niyan ay integrated sa time allotment ng math at saka English, ang ating math at saka reading program. Pwede rin pong gawin yung pull-out strategy kung kaya naman ng mga schools, or pwede din po ang additional time allotment kung kaya po ng ibang mga schools. So we're giving flexibilities, ma'am, based on our discussions with you and others. Salamat po.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Second po, ito na po yung exciting part. Yung mga COA report po at saka yung COA observation as regard to computerization. Medyo mahalaga sa akin to, Madam Chair and Mr. Secretary, dahil gusto natin talaga mabigyan talaga ng mga laptop, no? Mga computer, yung ating mga teachers. Okay? So according to the observation of COA, Madam Chair, report page 229, DepEd CAR 2023, nakalagay po diyan yung observation ng COA regarding doon sa computerization program ng 2023. Medyo mahabang banggitin, kulang na po ako sa time. Can the DepEd please update us on the status of its various computerization programs? So alam ko may mga delays according dito sa COA report. So pwede po bang magbigay yung particularly po yung DCP, no? Nakalagay dito letter A ay a delay, non-delivery, and inefficiency of 3PL services provider, delivery to regions not included in the allocation list, DCP packages were not stored. Nandiyan po yan sa page 229, DepEd CAR 2023. So, pwede po ba tayong ma-update, Mr. Chair, kaugnay dito sa computerization program ng DepEd?
Secretary, please.
Yes, Madam Chair, this was before my time. With your permission, I will ask some of the undersecretaries, our Undersecretary for Legal, Yusek Omar Romero, to discuss that. That's a transpac, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yusek Romero, you're
Yes,
recognized.
thank you, Secretary. Thank you, Madam Chair, Mr. Chair. Yes, in response to the question, the observation of the COA is the delayed delivery or the non-delivery of the computers to the regions. No? And we are happy to update, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair, that earlier this year, the Department of Education, as directed by our operations strand, directed our regional offices and our schools district offices to pull out all the goods procured and which remained in the warehouses of the third-party logistics supplier, yung Transpac po. So, if I'm not mistaken, almost more than 90% have been pulled out, with a minority remaining only in the Carmona warehouse of said logistics supplier. So all the items, the computers being a subject of the question, most of them have been pulled out and are now with the regional offices and our district offices rather, for distribution to the schools, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair.
Dagdag ko lang, Your Honor, na naabutan ko to nung na-brief ako. Nagulat ako na 4 years old na pala yung mga gamit doon. Since 2020 pa po yung mga kagamitan doon. So, we contacted the Air Force and others to help us remove. But and in addition to what Yusek Romero said, there are over 1.5 million items still in Carmona and other warehouses. Laptops, books, furniture. So we're doing our best to get them out para hindi mag-deteriorate yung mga materyales, Your Honor. Thank you.
So may timeline po ba tayo para makuha na po itong...
The target rate of completion is the end of September, Your Honor. End of September.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Ito naman po, Mr. Chair, isa rin sa COA, no, na report na nakuha natin. So, Ito po, no, yung tungkol sa mga unpaid remittances to BIR, GSIS, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, and other social and health systems. So, siyempre, in fairness kay Secretary Angara, no, so wala pa siya nito. Dun sa last administration. For the record, Madam Chair, based on DepEd CAR 2023 as of December 31, 2023, DepEd has unremitted taxes and premiums in the following amounts. So due to BIR, withholding taxes, 1,1,306,199,728.37. Sa GSIS naman po, 3,100,914,964. Mahalaga po itong GSIS dahil po pag na-late ang remittance ng premium loan sa GSIS, ang tatamaan po ng mga interest ay ang mga teachers o ang mga non-teaching personnel na nag-loan or gulang ng prima. Due to PhilHealth po, Madam Chair, 503,405,756.23. Sa Pag-ibig naman po, Madam Chair, ay 182,541,757. So, a total of 5 billion po, Madam Chair, Mr. Secretary, ang hindi po nare-remit due to the mandatory obligation po. So take note po, no. Ako po ay mga teachers ito na mga non-teaching personnel na kung hindi nababayaran ng tamang oras, may sa batas po ng GSIS a month after na matapos yung month, dapat ay nakapagbayad na. Otherwise, meron na po itong interest and surcharge against the account of the teachers or the non-teaching personnel. Ano po yung status nito, Madam Chair?
Madam Chair, with your permission, this is ongoing reconciliation, but I'll ask you, Sec. Ann Sevilla, to explain it.
Sec. Sevilla, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and Your Honor, Kong Franz Castro, that this is an ongoing reconciliation with our auditors. In fact, this is a book entry reconciliation because at the end of the year, 10 days pa po talaga mareremit yung mga pang December na due. And the amount is really huge or big because of the accumulated accounts from the school, division, regions, and the central office. But as of today, Madam Chair, ay wala po tayo na natanggap sa COA na rejoinder or anything else na dapat mong gawin from our end. In fact, ongoing din po ang GSIS reconciliation natin in the national headquarters of the GSIS. Pinapupunta na po natin yung mga division offices at saka mga regional offices doon sa GSIS headquarters or main office para po makatch up natin yung mga unreconciled remittances na ito po.
That will be the last question from Representative Castro.
Last manifestation, and
yes,
I
please,
manifest
quickly.
for second and third round.
Noted.
So, Madam Chair, so kailangan natin makakuha ng listahan nito, no, ng mga teachers na affected, especially sa mga regions. Dahil lalabas na naman po dyan, may mga magre-retire na mga teacher na makikita doon sa kanilang record na ganito, hindi nakapag-remit, di ka nakapagbayad, ang problema po ay nasa DepEd, Madam Chair, tsaka ng GSIS. So kailangan natin makuha, no, yung report nung mga regions na yan. At sana hindi sa teacher tatama, no, yung magiging penalty o surcharge. So yun lang po, Madam Chair. Thank you po.
Madam Chair, we will furnish the list to Congresswoman Castro.
Thank you. Next to give a manifestation is Representative Rufus Rodriguez from the majority.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was the first one to come here at 8:35 in the morning. And I am the first one for the majority. Welcome home, Secretary Sani Angara. This is your home. And to the officials, officialdom of the Department of Education and the attached agencies, and especially to your outstanding regional director of Region 10, Art Bayocot, my partner for education quality, and Superintendent Roy Gaso. Madam Chair, the Constitution, Article 2 on state policies, Section 17, of course, the Constitution has been memorized by Secretary Angara. the entire Constitution. Section 17 states that the state shall give priority to education. So we can do no less. Madam Chair, 2,350 years ago, Aristotle, the tutor of Alexander the Great, the teacher of Plato, who in fact Plato was the student of Socrates, said as early as 350 BC, he said, man by nature desire to know. So that's why when we were small, we asked our tatay, nanay, papa, mama, unsa man ni, ano to? Oh? Because it is innate in us to learn, that is desire. Then, in the 19th century, the French philosopher, René Descartes, in Bisaya, Descartes. René Descartes said, cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. A person who does not think does not exist. And how do you think? By going to DepEd, by going to our public elementary high school, then go to college and learn. And then you exist because you have proper education. Then I went to the University of Pretoria, capital of South Africa, Mandela University of Pretoria. Education is the engine of growth of South Africa. And we all know, Madam Chair, that education is the great equalizer of this country. And that is why, Madam Chair, my manifestation is to support Secretary Angara. There is now a fresh air, a sunny future for education, because we have a new secretary. And therefore, I would just like to, therefore, in the proper time, move that not only do we approve the NEP proposal of DBM, but to approve the DepEd OSEC wish list of 59 billion. And also the attached agencies, NBDB, I see Clink here. Clinkang, where are you? There. We need 289 million for the NBDB. Then the National Council for Children's Television. Where is Ms. Atienza? You're there. 132 million only. And then Jeremy Barnes is here. My good friend, the National Museum of the Philippines, because they're going to open a branch museum in Cagayan de Oro under my law. See? So 1.6 billion. The Philippine High School for the Arts, 22 million. Early Childhood, 22. And then National Academy for Sports, 2009. So therefore, my manifestation is we support the budget and move for that in the plenary, we increase this by the wish list. But there are just 2 points I would like to manifest. First, we have to increase, we have to have a subject, restore subject of PE. It should not be part of art, culture. These are different. This is the whole body and mind of our learners so that we can have Carlos Yulos in our elementary schools and high schools. We wish that there will be a separate PE subject every week for physical education. And secondly, I will move in the proper time to add a budget so that Boy Scouting will be restored. Well, no, we are all Boy Scouts. That's why we are all prepared. Now, there are no more Boy Scouts and Boy Scouts who are girls. No more. Because there is no funding. The late Senator Secretary Rocco slashed and removed the budget for the subsidy of the Boy Scouting and Girl Scouting. We have to restore them as all of us, we're into scouting girls and boys. And these two, Mr. Secretary, please take a look at this. A subject on PE, let us have them, grassroots physical education and sports, and let us put a budget that we will subsidize Boy Scout and Girl Scouting in our country. With that, Madam Chair, I wish again to give my total support for the budget of the Department of Education and its attached agencies. So move, Madam Chair. Proper time.
Thank you for the manifestation, Representative Rodriguez. We will deal with that motion at the proper time. Next to ask question is from the minority, Representative Ramon Gutierrez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning po to the Secretary.
of the Department of Education and the rest of our fellow public servants in the DepEd. In as much as we have the motion was retracted, I would like to, in my own way, honor our time tradition. If the good secretary would allow, I would just direct my questions to his undersecretaries. Certainly. Thank you, Congressman Raj Gutierrez. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I'd like to direct my question to the Undersecretary for Curriculum and Teaching.
Yusek Gonong, you're recognized.
Okay. Madam Chair, I made that manifestation because my questions will mostly be about the utilization of 2022 and 2023. Now, Madam Chair, based on reports, on November 21, 2023, the DepEd celebrated Araw ng Pagbasa, and this was spearheaded by the Bureau of Learning Delivery under the Curriculum and Teaching. Is that correct, Madam Chair?
That's correct, Madam Chair.
And during that event, Madam Chair, this was celebrated with the launching of Isang Kaibigan. It was held in a public elementary school in Quezon City. Is that correct, Madam Chair?
That's correct, Madam Chair.
So, Madam Chair, as the USEC being responsible for curriculum and teaching, and by that line of logic, yung Bureau of Learning Delivery, may we ask po, kayo po ba yung responsible for the production of this book, yung Isang Kaibigan?
Madam Chair, hindi po.
What is the role of the curriculum and teaching strand po in the production and development of Isang Kaibigan? I understand this was a project of the former secretary. Is that correct, Madam Chair?
Yes, Madam Chair. Wala pong role ang Department of Education sa development, reproduction, or printing of Isang Kaibigan storybook.
Thank you. Madam Chair, so as per reports, the illustrators were a certain Janina Simbilio and Joseph Kaliner of the Creative Media Unit, Public Affairs of the Service of the Department. Is this report erroneous, Madam Chair?
Madam Chair, I have no knowledge of that.
No knowledge. Madam Chair, under what department po kaya itong Public Affairs Service of the DepEd?
With your permission, Madam Chair, the two are employees of the Public Affairs Service Division of the Department, Your Honor.
They are employees.
Yes, but there is no payment made to them for whatever they did. So it's either they made it gratis or for free, or they were paid on the side. We don't really know because there's no record of official payment to them. But just for the record, they are employees, job order employees of the Public Affairs Service. Is that a bureau?
Service.
Public Affairs Service of the DepEd, Your Honor.
Madam Chair, thank you very much, Mr. Secretary, and apologies you had to answer that. But thank you for the confirmation. So the book there was a hand in the development of the book by employees of the DepEd, although it is probably by gratis or unrelated to their official functions of the DepEd. So that's something to note. So hindi po naman erroneous yung statement ng report na yun. So, Madam Chair, prior to its launch, it would be said then that what is the knowledge of the good Undersecretary about this book? Was it the first time for her to find out about Isang Kaibigan during the launching itself? Because it was mentioned na wala po silang kinalaman sa development, but surely, perhaps in the procurement or in the preparation of the program, they have had some knowledge of this book.
Yung particular book po, nakita lang namin noong launch, but we know that she's going to read. Kasi po yung program na Araw ng Pagbasa, we do that yearly. And we invite reading ambassadors. So, minsan mga kilalang mga tao, mga officials ng DepEd, nagbabasa po yan sa mga schools. And they can choose the storybook that they're going to read. So, in this